Point Pleasant, a small town in West Virginia, gave birth to one of the most well-known mysteries in cryptid history. But what actually happened? On November 15, 1966, Roger and Linda Scarberry, alongside Steve and Mary Mallette, were passing the abandoned World War II ammunition plant, approximately 8 miles north of Point Pleasant. As they reached the top of a hill in what was known as the TNT Area, they noticed a humanoid figure with a large wing trapped in a wire near the power plant. Linda stated that it was pulling on its wing with its hands in an attempt to free itself. When it noticed the group, it looked directly at them, their headlights reflecting bright red from its eyes. The group stopped the car long enough that Linda believes they scared the creature. Once its wing came loose, it ran into the nearby power plant building. The group then left the area, spotting the creature sitting on a sign just around the bend. When the headlights hit it, it flew into the air and began pursuing them down Route 62 at speeds over 100 miles per hour, or 161 kilometers an hour. Around 30 minutes later, the group made their way to the Mason County Courthouse to report the encounter to the police. Linda later recalled that the police did not believe them, and had instead suspected they were either drunk or on drugs. She then stated that once the officers learned that this was not the case, they began to believe what they were being told. However, the couple's encounter with this creature was allegedly not the first. Just the night before, on November 14, 1966, Noel Partridge from Salem, West Virginia, around 115 miles from Point Pleasant, was watching TV when it began malfunctioning. It is said that he heard a noise outside and went to investigate. As he aimed his torch to the barn, he saw 2 glowing red eyes staring back. Before he could react, his German Shepherd, Bandit, ran towards the lights. It is reported that Bandit was never seen after this. The next notable encounter was at 7:15 a.m. on Friday the 25th of November 1966, when 25-year-old Tom Urey was driving down Route 62 and stated that he saw the creature in a field nearby before it rose into the sky like a helicopter. This encounter is particularly interesting, as it is one of the first reported sightings of the creature during daytime hours. As more and more sightings came to light, local newspaper reporter Mary Hyre from the Athens Messenger wrote numerous columns about the Mason County creature, reaching around 10 columns between the first sighting and the end of the year. Mary's dedication to reporting these sightings helped keep the creature in the spotlight. The growing media attention eventually reached author John Keel, who arrived in Point Pleasant to investigate the Mason County creature. Keel was a prominent writer in strange and paranormal phenomena, and his investigation between 1966 and 1967 helped shift the case beyond a local creature sighting and into a wider series of paranormal claims, including reports of UFO activity in the area. Working alongside Mary Hyre, Keel continued interviewing witnesses and documenting reports connected to the creature. During his investigation, he began receiving reports of mysterious figures who appeared to question or intimidate witnesses, encounters that would later become associated with the term Men in Black. Numerous witnesses came forward to talk about the figures driving black Cadillacs and behaving oddly. An example of this behaviour was when a resident offered one of the Men in Black a handshake, and the figure seemed confused. John Keel later stated in an interview with Donnie Sargent Jr. that he believed the Men in Black were linked with the UFO sightings, as they frequently showed up in the areas the sightings took place in. He also alleged that the Men in Black would tell witnesses not to tell anybody what they had seen. During her own interview with Donnie Sargent Jr., Linda said that everyone was afraid of the Men in Black. She remembered that their skin was slightly transparent and their fingers longer than normal. Linda also stated that John Keel had believed the Men in Black were there for the children of Linda and 4 other women, as each of the children showed signs of high intelligence. She reported that the Men in Black's cars would follow them down streets, and that a man fitting their description appeared in her home at around midnight. Donnie Sargent Jr. also asked Linda about the UFOs, to which Linda replied, "The UFOs were everywhere up there and in the general Point Pleasant area, and they looked like brightly coloured flowers, the colours more vivid than any I'd ever seen in my life. It was during this interview that Linda made it clear that she believed the Mason County creature had no intentions to harm anyone, that it had had numerous chances to injure or kill her and others and hadn't. She thought the creature was there to be a distraction for the men in black. The Silver Bridge was built in 1928 to connect Point Pleasant in West Virginia to Gallipolis in Ohio using carbon steel. This bridge became a vital high-traffic route for both everyday traffic and heavy commercial vehicles. On the evening of December 15, 1967, the bridge collapsed, resulting in the deaths of 46 people. Originally, it was thought that a river barge had collided with one of the bridge's supports. Others believed it could have been the result of increased heavy traffic from the holiday period. An inspector and metals expert was called to examine the wreckage and concluded that the cause of the collapse was a faulty metal eye-bar that had been flawed since the construction of the bridge. The failing of this single eye-bar resulted in a chain reaction along the rest of the bridge. In his book, Mothman: The Facts Behind the Legend, Donnie Sargent Jr. stated that he had received an email from the last tractor-trailer driver to make it across the bridge before its collapse, who stated that he had seen the Mason County creature fly in front of his truck. Linda Scarberry, who had been on the riverbank at the time of the collapse, stated that while she had not seen them personally, others had seen the men in black around the area after the bridge collapse. She believed the creature was there as a distraction. This disaster became the most commonly associated event linked to the Mason County creature. John Keel pushed this further into the spotlight with his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, where he popularized the theory that the creature was an omen of disaster, whilst others believed the creature was actually trying to warn them. The Silver Bridge was later replaced with the Silver Memorial Bridge in December 1969, a mile downstream from the original location. A memorial can be found at the original location, preserving the names of the victims of the disaster. Following this disaster, sightings of the Mason County creature largely disappeared from this area. Linda has stated that she believes the creature is still around, but has moved on from Point Pleasant. During the creature's active sighting period, an unknown media report later named the creature the Mothman, based on the descriptions of the creature sounding similar to the TV show Batman. Despite the lack of new sightings, the legend of the Mothman continues to attract visitors to Point Pleasant, with its own museum owned by native Jeff Wamsley, who also has a hand in the organisation of the annual Mothman Festival. The Mothman Museum is the only museum in the world relating to the creature. Here, you can find rare historical documents from eyewitness accounts, historical press clippings, and photographs of the Silver Bridge disaster. There are also exhibits on key figures such as John Keel, Mary Hyre, and the Men in Black, as well as merchandise, souvenirs, and a guided tour of the TNT area. This unique collection helps preserve the legacy of Mothman, alongside the annual festival pulling in thousands of visitors to celebrate the creature's legend. Outside the museum, you can find the famous 12-foot statue, made in the Mothman's likeness, available for tourists to take photos with the creature. There have been numerous discussions over the years as to what the Mothman actually was. Skeptic and paranormal investigator Joe Nickell believed the creature was actually a type of owl that was misidentified. He explained that many owls' eyes can reflect light, which matched the descriptions of the Mothman's glowing red eyes. Linda Scarberry has stated in her interview that she does not believe this theory is accurate, as in her own words, "You could tell by looking at the owl that it wasn't what was being reported. It wasn't nearly as big, and it was a bird. What we saw was no bird." She went on to say that the creature had clear, human-like muscles. Some have speculated that the TNT area itself is connected to the creature, as the area contains multiple above-ground bunkers, known as igloos, that were used to store TNT. As a result of this, the soil and wastewater disposal system were contaminated with byproducts, TNT, and asbestos. This has now been cleansed and turned into a wildlife management area. Due to the frequent sightings of UFOs, some, like John Keel, believe they are connected to the Mothman, whilst others, like Linda, believe the Mothman was there as a distraction for the mysterious Men in Black. Some believe the simplest explanation is that witnesses saw something that has never been identified. If you'd like to investigate another unexplained case with me, I'll see you in the next file.